Hello and welcome to MCPSS Athletics. My name is Calvin Chris, Athletic Director for Mobile County Public Schools. Studio today we have from Williamson High School, Athletic Director, Head Football Coach, Mr. Dedrick Sumter, and also the Athletic Academic Advisor, Ms. Erica Garcia. But first, let's get to the scoreboard. In boys basketball, Murphy nipped LaFleur 61-60 behind an 18-point effort from Smiley. Hickbotham scored 21 points as Williamson fell short to Gulf Shores 81-79. Hill scored 15 points as Davidson defeated Bryant 63-47. MGM fell short to McGill-Tulane 71-39. In Saturday night action, Blount defeated Escambia County 51-23 as Chapman scored 14 points. Williams led Baker to a 46-35 win over Cottage Hill Christian. Davidson defeated Murphy 61-56 behind McCoy's 18 points. Morgan scored 17 points to lead the Rattlers of Florida to a 42-39 win over Daphne. In girls basketball, Faith defeated Viger Wolves 62-53. BC Range defeated Spanish Fort 57-42. Williams had a double-double with 18 points and 11 rebounds. Also for the Red Raiders, McKenzie posted a triple-double with 10 assists, 10 steals, and 10 rebounds. Davidson sent the Bryant Hurricanes to their third defeat of the season with a 50-45 victory. Jackson had 28 points and 10 rebounds for a double-double. McGill-Tulane defeated Mary Montgomery 43-10. On Saturday night action, Blount continues their winning ways with a 55-30 win over Escambia County. Johnson led all scorers with 23 points. Moore pumped in 26 points as Murphy defeated Davidson 66-34. Baker fell to Cottage Hill Christian 59-48. James scored 24 points as LaFleur defeated Daphne 65-44. And that is it for this week's scoreboard. After a brief message, we'll be back with Coach Sumter.
I'm Ashley Rich, Mobile County District Attorney. The failure to obey school bus safety laws will cost you. It can cost you up to a $3,000 fine and the loss of your driving privileges.
But more than that, it could cost the life of a child. That's why the Mobile County Public School System is urging you to stop and obey all bus traffic laws. Hi, I'm Pat Mitchell, Director of Transportation for the Mobile County Public School System. We're asking you to obey all bus safety laws. It could save a life. Remember, stop ahead when you see red. Our future depends on it.
For me, it started back in 1942 when my family moved to Mobile, and I began my high school career at Murphy High School. Today, it's so important to be able to ingrain in yourself what are you going to do in future life, and you need to be prepared. And so subsequently, everything at Murphy was very important in my life, and so it was instrumental in preparing me for future life and future profession that I wanted to be in.
Sweetheart, can I give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to our show. Our first guest today is from Williamson High School, Coach Dedrick Sumter. Coach, appreciate you coming by.
I appreciate you.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your time at Williamson, also before you got to Williamson.
Okay, man. Well, since day one, it's been very fun for me, regardless, because you really have to appreciate the growing pains of doing something new for the first time. And like I said, I always did football, I always did basketball, but becoming the head coach, and as each year started to progress, I learned more and more and more. But every day, I'm proud to be the head coach at Williamson High School, regardless of some of the struggles that humbling experience which we had this season due to lack of numbers, injuries and everything, but still there was some positive things that I got out of it.
Coach, people don't realize when you're assistant football coach, you take your little group, you go down there, you work them hard, you come back up there, you come together, go through practice, but with the head coach comes a lot of other things. You want to go through some of those other things?
Yes, really, through the growth process, I really learned how to build the program off the field. in which that I felt like schematically that I was knowledgeable about it and all the X and O's of football, but really the holistic approach to building a program. So as now, as of this year, we implemented our academic plan. That's for everybody, but I know with football, we only had one football player with a failed core. So it's a very diligent program. We pull progress reports every 2 weeks. Once your grade drop below a 70, you automatically go to intervention. So we was able to catch a whole lot of problems.
Right.
And by having short numbers, I can't lose a person.
Right.
So it's just that, making sure put them on the great off season, strength and conditioning. So it's a lot of things in which that I have grown to learn.
Coach, you want to talk a little bit about your season? And before I let you talk, I just want to say, I know that you were short on numbers. You got quite a few kids hurt, but in talking and hearing other coaches talk, they always said no matter what kind of team you put out there, that your kids always fought to the bitter end. And you want to talk a little bit about that experience this year?
Oh yes, it was humbling and it was tough at times, but I kind of knew as when I came into it, I lost them 26 seniors. I knew it was going to be tough.
Right.
But I knew that it's going to be a greater reward coming next year because I got most of everybody back. And we have some major prospects coming out these next two classes, but I just think that a team rep is a mirror of their coach. And through all the adversity in which I've been through, person, coach, I never give up. And
Right.
that's what I always teach them. And it was crazy to be really 1-9. The last day of practice was so upbeat. Them kids never gave in. They Tuesdays and Thursdays, they had to be at school at 5:30 a.m. Their first practice started at 6 a.m. We was 100% participation rate on that. So that helped out in school with attendance and everything because they know that if you miss Tuesday, Thursday practice, you're not going to play.
Right. Coach, in watching you the last couple of years, I know your main thing is discipline, and that is kind of what gets you to where you're at. And I know this year you didn't experience a lot of wins, but do you think the foundation is laid there? The kids know what to expect?
Right, because my goal for the athletic program is to win a sportsmanship award. And I don't know if that means a lot to a lot of people, but that means a lot to me because you're being judged by your peers and judged by the state for having a well-ran athletic program. So this year we didn't have not one ejection, we didn't have none of that. So far we haven't had it in basketball either because this is something that I preach, and that means a lot. To come from certain incidents, what happened last year, you bounce back from it. And regardless, I think once we obtained this award, I really set the foundation. I think we really have won.
Coach, Williamson is now a smaller school than it used to be. A lot of them have changed because of demographics and school zones and all. Do y'all have to share a lot of athletics? Athletes, I'm sorry.
Yes, we do. And that's what I just try to keep all the sports on the same accord.
Right.
Because everybody have to play everything. And so that just, and which that, you have your positive negatives of that, but we do share.
Well, that's good. Coach, I want to talk a bit about your season and your offense that you run this year. Mm-hmm. What kind of offense did you?
Okay, we really gonna be the same. In which that, like I said, we have Jeremy Hicklebottom coming back, 6'5" quarterbacks, and as I was discussing with you earlier, in 5 games he almost threw 1,000 and ran 1,000. He's a major prospect. They got him listed as a 5-star, and he's just a sophomore. So we also have Adrian Portlock, which is another 5-star kid that got hurt toward the end. Then coming out with Harry Holmes and Jeffrey Hicklebottom, they're 2 Division I players. So I kind of looked at everything, and because the first thing I do as a coach is I assess me. I assess what I have to do better. Mm-hmm. So once I found out the weakness, I don't take a day off. So I went right into it. So offensively, we are runners. We're going to be a physical running team, but with that 6'5" quarterback who can really throw it. So we kind of project him as a quarterback who could throw well over 2,000 some yards. So we still gonna be that physical team, a lot of play actions, a lot of zone read, a lot of runs. So we'll almost do, you know, because this year we threw a lot of screens to try to protect the young quarterback.
Right. He must be quite an athlete. We was talking earlier, he also plays basketball and a very good basketball player. So it pays to have those athletic type people, and it sounds like he's really got a bright future. What about your defense? What do you do on defense at Williamson?
We multiple, and this is the best thing. Everybody come back. Coach Keyshawn Bullard does a great job with the defense. And when my first year got him, he wasn't averaging up about giving up 14, 15 points a game the year before. But we knew because he lost everybody. So it was a whole new defense. Right. But now you having them kids, all those kids coming back, buying into his system, which is going to be the cornerstone of our team, that defense, because that's why I believe in really you got to stop people, because we have another kid who's a Division I prospect. Name is Alex Cole, who plays safety. He's 6'1", 200 already, sophomore, and getting stronger. So we're gonna be very, very competitive. We still not gonna have the numbers. That's just, you know, dealing with it. But we have some major prospects for the next 2 years.
Okay, Coach, we'll have you back a little bit later.
Okay.
We're going to take a break and bring Ms. Garcia in.
Okay.
I went to Murphy High School. In fact, to this day, my blood bleeds blue and gold. To this day, some of my best friends are the high school football buddies that I had. We really had a wide array of classes available to us. All of my future relates back to the foundations that were given to me by the wonderful teachers and principles that I had when I was a kid.
I saw Mr. Tillman's class. Just that quick little 5 minutes I had with him made me think that I really wanted to do small engines. I just love tinkering with them, just a gearhead. Graduating from the Career Tech Center has allowed me to better myself, make more money, be more informed about the trade that I'm going to be in. I just felt like doing a trade is just better than working in an office or something. I have to be outside working with my hand or something.
MCPSS Career Tech. Start your future today.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Welcome back. Our second segment here, we have the athletic academic advisor, Ms. Garcia, who's with us today. And Ms. Garcia, I appreciate you taking time out to come.
Thank you.
I'm always glad to get people in that are, even though it's an athletics show, that are not always athletics. You don't deal directly with coaching or anything, but you are a very important part, and I like to have these academic advisors over there. So for somebody watching, if they came and asked you what would your job description would be, now listen, we only got a few minutes, so I know the list is long, but just go briefly over what some of the things that you do with that academic advisor.
I work with Coach Sumter to make sure that our students are academically prepared. We pull progress reports, we monitor their academic progress, make sure they get the correct intervention that's needed, talk with our teachers, talk with our students to, you know, let them know the importance of being academically prepared. We want to eliminate summer school. We want to eliminate any barrier that stops them from being successful, not just athletically, but academically as well.
Take us through, we've got a freshman that's coming into your school. What's the first thing that y'all do? I know a lot of people think, well, you know, we got a kid and he's in 12th grade, he's going to get a scholarship, let's get him prepared, but it actually starts back in the freshman year. You can go through that a little bit.
Well, I'll be brief. We make sure that his core classes and classes that are aligned with Clearinghouse are scheduled properly. That's the first thing we want to make sure that's done.
Okay, you want to go through what a core class is. Math,
Science, social studies, and what was the other? Math, science, social studies.
Science, math,
social studies, and
history.
Social studies is history. So the four cores,
Right,
we know what they are.
Right.
It's amazing I can't think of them. Language arts, what I teach, isn't that something? Wow. Language arts, yes.
Right there in front of you.
Right there in front of me.
If you've got a kid that comes in and say maybe his grades doesn't look good, but it looks like he's going to be promising, maybe he just got by, you know, they got to have that certain average, grade point average, he was just there. What are some of the things that you look to do with this young man? Go ahead.
Well, excuse me, I'm sorry. Have a conversation and see what's going on. What do you want out of life? And how can I help you get there, really? And then we start from there, and then speak with teachers and tutors who can help get that student where he or she needs to be.
I guess a lot of it, and let's be honest, there's at every school there's great teachers and there's not maybe just good teachers, but you got to make sure that the teacher understands that maybe he has trouble in these areas. Do y'all help with that also?
Yes, sir, we do. We do that as well. We want to make sure that if the parents aren't able to be there, we want to step in and be mentors.
Okay. Do y'all meet with them at all as a group? Do you bring them together and meet with them as a group? I know some schools in the spring, sometimes they'll bring them in and they'll meet with them and tell them, you know, this is what you need to do. Do y'all try to meet with them and keep them on track?
Yes, sir. Coach Sumter does that.
Oh, he does? Okay.
He does.
Now, do you work with some of the other coaches also?
Some of them, but the majority of my work is done with football.
With football,
you know.
Okay. But that's because of Coach Sumter being the AD also. He kind of keeps tabs on all the athletes, and so therefore it makes it easier just to deal with that one person. Now, if you've got a kid that's in trouble, what kind of tutoring do you offer them? Are the teachers good about trying to help?
Yes, sir, they work with us. Our math department, they did an incredible job working with our athletes this last semester. We get them in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and they stay from 3 o'clock until 4:30.
Okay.
Tutoring.
Do you have, sometimes is it hard to get these students, looking for the word, aware of how important that this is? Because, you know, you're in school all day and you certainly don't want to spend another hour and a half after school. How do y'all go about making these kids aware of what they need to do after school, how important this is? Do y'all bring them in and say, if you know, are you going to go to tutoring? If they say they don't want to go, what do y'all do? I'm sure y'all run into those obstacles.
Not really, we don't, because when our athletes meet fourth block for varsity athletics, Coach Sumter marches them down to tutoring after school, so we don't have that problem.
Okay, well that's good. Do you think that this position, I know I get a lot of people come in, and I guess it's because schools do this position different ways. Do you think that this is a position that the system really needs to keep?
Yes, sir, it is. It is, it does.
What do you think the real value of it is, keeping this position? If somebody said, okay, we're going to do away with it unless you can convince me to keep it, what would you tell this person?
Because if you are properly using this position and mastering it, it could be contagious for all of your students, all of your academic areas, not just athletics, band, their whole school.
Right.
If you could just set aside people to monitor all students and make sure they get the proper intervention and tutoring that they need, it would be worth keeping.
I always said I wish there was some way. In athletics, we look after our kids with this. I just believe if we had something to offer kids after school, I think we would keep a lot of them there. And let's face it, I mean, and I know I probably get people disagree. Most kids don't come to school for math, just for math. You know, well, I want to get up and go because of math. Some of them probably do, but majority don't. But we need those extracurricular activities after school, whether it is a chess team, whether it's a little pep squad or whatever. But I think we missed the boat by not offering all of our students, because in my many, many years of doing this job, I always said a successful school to me can be judged by a lot of things. One of them is after school, if you go to a school and see how many kids are still on campus, whether they're down there with the student council meeting or whether they're playing tennis or football or whatever. But I always said, you know, if you've got a ton of kids still at school when school is out, then that tells you that that you've done something right. Now, I think sometimes we miss the boat with this. But you want to talk a little bit about the clearinghouse. I know the clearinghouse, people think that it is just hundreds of people sitting up there, but it's just a couple people. What has been your dealings with the clearinghouse? Do you take care of that, or does Coach Sumter kind of do that as far as, you know, you got a D1 prospect here and making sure that they've got their stuff into the clearinghouse? When do you make sure this is taken care of?
Well, again, as you said, Coach Sumter, he stays on that, the changes that clearinghouse sends out, and it's my job to make sure that the counselors align the student schedule with what's necessary for clearinghouse.
Okay, all right, well, that's good. Appreciate you coming. Learned a lot of things from you because I'm not around this whole lot, but we'll be back in just a second. After this break, we'll bring Coach Sumter back and we'll finish up.
It started for me when I went into the first grade, and then I went on to George Hall Elementary School, and from there to Williamson, where I graduated. The public school system, it had a great impact on me because not only did it prepare me academically for my future career, but it also prepared me for life because of its diversity of students and teachers. It really gave me a well-rounded education.
So, Nicholas, how was your day at school today?
It was great. We had fun in class today.
So, what did you do differently today at school? I mean, any new projects?
We got a progress report today.
You got your progress reports today? So, how did you do?
Don't know.
You don't know. That's okay. We can check that right here. Wow. Nicholas.
This is my computer.
This is your computer. Let's go on the internet.
Let's go. Click it.
Yes.
Okay.
I cursor in between the R and the E. Pressing dot, I want you to just push the period.
She's gonna love me all over again now.
That's it. Jamaica, here you go.
Here we go.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. And I did it by myself. Feel smarter.
Welcome back to our last segment. We've brought Coach Sumter back, and we're going to talk a little bit about Williamson High School. Coach Sumter, you'll talk a little bit about your administration and working with Coach Likely and your administration?
I can't say enough about Mr. Likely. You know, once I came in, everything that he said he was going to do for me, he did. And for a lot of people that really sometimes get caught up in the misconceptions of Williamson High School, I just want them to come by there one day and see how hard this Mr. Likely works. Because sometimes we get the bad breaks of the bad things that happen, but if you see how diligent Mr. Likely is, how persistent and consistent he is about his daily routine, a lot of principals sits in the office. You can never catch him in his office. You can never catch him. He's always moving. He's from one place to the other. And man, he's one of the best I've ever had. And I'm not saying that because he hired me, but just at the respect level, the accountability level, Mr. Likely provide all that. And it trickles down to Mrs. Matthew, Mr. Tolbert, and Mr. Pettis. So I have a great relationship with them, but I don't think they get the notoriety that they deserve because of sometimes of some bad situations.
And Coach, you made a great point. The kids notice, and I'm in and out, we've got 90 schools, I'm in and out of a lot of them, or all of them. But kids know those principals going to stay in their office all day.
Right.
And they know those principals that are in the hall, and even the teachers, will know, a principal's going to come by a time or two a day. He's going to look in, and I think that's important. Now, what that does, because I live with the principal who's out in the hallways all day long, what people don't realize is all that stack of paperwork that can be done during the day that a lot of them are doing, they're having to stay after school and put in more time. But that's the dedication that Mr. Likely is. And of course, Mr. Likely is a former coach, and I think he understands a lot of what you go through. And not that somebody not coaching is not a great principal, because we've got a ton of them, but a lot of times they understand the situation a little bit, you know, a little bit better. What about your relationship with the administration there?
Oh, they're wonderful. Mr. Likely, again, as Coach Sumter said, he's awesome. He's supportive, he's persistent, and he just kind of sits back and makes sure everything is done. And when I say sit back, it means he's not one to jump really quick at making decisions.
That's important.
Yeah, he thinks them out and he analyzes them. Ms. Matthews, of course, she's very supportive. Mr. Pettis and Mr. Tolbert, they all do a great job.
I think y'all very lucky. Y'all got a great combination there, and that's what you need. You need people that's got a you know, specialty, and they do it, and then it all meshes together to make your school. And I know Williamson has lost some kids over the past few years, but I think the future is bright there with the administration, and it takes going to work and doing it, you know, the right way every day. But I think in the end, it's gonna really turn out. Coach, you mentioned earlier about some of your kids. Are you gonna have any to sign this year?
Probably one or two. Cornelius Mitchell and Stephen Smith will both probably be Division II, Division III prospects. But Steve Smith carries a 3.2 grade point average already, made a 19 on ACT.
Great.
So he's a qualifier. And Cornelius 2.5, but he still had to get his ACT score. But we lost Cornelius, which is our returning running back, against Murphy. He broke his leg like in the fourth quarter. So it was a kind of, you know, adversity which we had, but I'm working diligently to make sure that my guys are properly prepared.
Ms. Garcia, if you've got someone that hasn't made their ACT yet and they've taken it, what do y'all do?
ACT tutoring.
Tutoring.
ACT tutoring on Saturdays.
And they participate in that. I guess when they see that they're going to get that scholarship, that really makes them want to work hard, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, they do.
Coach, we got about 30 seconds. You want to talk a little bit about your AD. I know one morning you called me about 5:30. You was already at work, but your AD duties also. And we got about 30 seconds.
Right. Man, just making, for real, following all the rules of the High School Athletic Association. And then really for a lot of AD, it's a lot, I take tremendous pride. And like I said, this is the state came in for a second audit. We was perfect. And I really appreciate that. I take a lot of pride in that. But just the day-to-day basis, make sure that all my athletes are properly prepared. Not just a football coach who's the AD, but just being well-rounded by me being a certified athletic administrator. You know, I'm schooled to help everybody.
That's great, Coach. Appreciate y'all coming out today. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
All in together now, we can make it better now. Come on.
Moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your child healthier. Search We Can to find out more.